did Jesus and the apostles quote from the Deuterocanonical books? If so, why do many Christians today ignore them? And why were these books removed from Protestant Bibles over 1,000 years after Christ? In this video, we'll uncover the New Testament's hidden connections to these books and explore why Jesus himself may have considered them authoritative. Stay with us as we reveal the Bible most Christians never realized were inspired by these missing books. Let's begin with one of the clearest examples. Matthew chapter 27, verses 41 to 43, and Wisdom chapter 2, verses 12 to 20. The Gospel of Matthew records that as Jesus hung on the cross, the chief priests mocked him, saying, "He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him." Now compare that to Wisdom chapter 2, verses 18 to 20. "If the righteous man is God's son, he will help him. Let us test him with insult and torture. Let us condemn him to a shameful death." The parallel is striking. The Book of Wisdom describes the persecution of the Messiah centuries before Christ, and Matthew echoes this language at the crucifixion. Did Jesus and the evangelists know this book? The evidence suggests yes. Many of Jesus' core teachings also align with the Deuterocanonical books, Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 to 15, and Sirach chapter 28, verse 2 on forgiveness. "Forgive and you will be forgiven," Matthew 6:14. "Forgive your neighbor the wrong he has done, and your sins will be pardoned when you pray," Sirach 28:2. Luke chapter 6, verse 31, and Tobit chapter 4, verse 15, on the golden rule. "Do to others as you would have them do to you." Luke 6:31. "What you hate, do not do to anyone." Tobit 4:15. Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 to 30, and Sirach chapter 51, verses 26 to 27 on taking the yoke. Jesus, take my yoke upon you, and you will find rest for your souls. Sirach, put your neck under her yoke, and you will find much rest. It's clear that Jesus was influenced by these books, and his teachings reflect their wisdom and theology. The apostles also reference the Deuterocanonical books. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 35, it says, "Others were tortured, not accepting release, so that they might gain a better resurrection." This aligns directly with 2 Maccabees chapter 7, where 7 brothers die for their faith, refusing to betray God because of their belief in the resurrection of the dead. In Romans chapter 1, verses 20 to 23, it states, "Since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities have been clearly seen." This is a clear reference to Wisdom chapter 13, which speaks of how creation itself reveals God's existence. Even St. Paul, when writing his epistles, used the language and theology of these books. If Jesus and the apostles referenced these books, why are they missing from Protestant Bibles? The truth is, they were not removed by Jesus, the apostles, or the early church. They were removed over 1,500 years later by Martin Luther and other Protestant reformers. Fact. The Deuterocanonical books were included in the Greek Septuagint, the Old Testament used by Jesus and the apostles. Fact. The early church accepted these books as part of the Bible, and they were in every Christian Bible for over 1,100 years. Fact. Even the King James Bible of 1611 originally included these books. But in the 1500s, Martin Luther questioned these books because they supported Catholic doctrines he opposed. Prayers for the dead, as seen in 2 Maccabees chapter 12, verses 44 to 46. Almsgiving for atonement, as noted in Sirach chapter 3, verse 30. And the intercession of saints and angels, as mentioned in Tobit chapter 12, verse 12. By the 1800s, Protestants fully removed them, leaving gaps in biblical theology that Jesus and the apostles clearly embraced. If Jesus referenced these books and the apostles quoted them, should we as Christians ignore them? The Deuterocanonical books provide prophecies of Christ, wisdom used by Jesus, and doctrinal truths affirmed by the early church. If the church that gave us the New Testament also preserved these books, perhaps they still have something to teach us today. Do you think these books should still be in the Bible? Let us know in the comments.